Hello there. I would like to talk to you about something amazing which happened to me. I'm not saying it was a miracle or anything like that, but for me, the way it unfolded was kind of miraculous. I got really sick recently with a bad flu, and I decided to go on a dry fast, my first dry fast. I stopped eating for about 20 hours, then I took a saltwater flush, some Himalayan sea salt with a liter of lukewarm water, and I pooped a lot. I pooped like 5 times. And then I stopped drinking for 40 hours. And after 2.5 days, my ordeal was over. Interesting to note that human beings are the only animals known to continue eating even when they're really sick or wounded. Other animals are not doing this. So the amazing thing was that I only wanted to drink juice, which has never happened before. I've done about 120 water fasts, and I'm always hungry. I always want to have solid foods, but for some reason I only wanted juice. Luckily, I recently went on a dumpster dive, so I had a lot of juice by coincidence. I don't know. So I drank my juice, and the second miraculous thing was that I forgot to make coffee, which is weird because if you're a cocaine addict, for example, or a heroin addict, you don't wake up and forget that you're addicted, right? I'm very addicted. I drink 2 of these per day of coffee. It's like half a gallon. It's a lot of coffee. The next day, I started eating solids, and I remembered to make coffee, but I was reluctant to do so. But I thought, yeah, you'll want to drink it later. So I made some, but I didn't really even want to drink it. And when I did, I only finished half. And I gave my coffee beans away to my roommates. And then another voice went into my head saying, you don't want popcorn anymore. I eat more popcorn than anybody I've ever met in my life. Huge amounts of popcorn whenever I'm not fasting, and I know that can't be good for me. So I was wondering about this. How I thought it had something to do with the dry fast. And the most miraculous thing was that later on that night, the very same day, with all these questions in my head, a video comes across the screen explaining how you can get rid of food addictions. And I was blown away by the fact that I was learning stuff that I never even knew anything really about. So what happens is your gut flora, your stomach flora, has bad bacteria. And when you remove that and replace it with the good bacteria, those microorganisms, which are good, have the incentive of giving you a desire to eat apparently what is naturally good for you. In this case, it would have been juice. So that was fascinating, the way that video came across my screen. And I decided to do a second fast. And then I stopped eating yogurt. I had no more desire to eat yogurt, which was good because my adrenal glands were hurting when I was on my second fast. I went 46 hours and I was having some problems. And I'm told you're not supposed to rush. I'm told your first dry fast should be no more than 24 hours. My first was 40, my second was 46. So I became a vegan. After almost 30 years of being a vegetarian, I finally became a vegan, and I started to get my lymphatic system moving by eating astringent fruits and getting rid of all the mucus that the dairy products have and the acidic food. So after about 3 weeks, I felt like I was ready for a 3-day fast. So what happened was on the 3-day fast, the first day I peed average. The second day I didn't pee much at all. It was dark brown, and there was even some sediment, which is, I've never seen sediment in my piss. The third day I woke up and I peed about 3 times as much as I did the second day. And my pee was not dark brown, it wasn't dark yellow, it was just yellow. And what I've heard is after 3 days of dry fasting, or actually 3.5 or 4 days, you're pissing clear urine, which is amazing. You're replacing the old fluids with new fluids. And apparently, when you dry fast, it creates a lot of heat down there. It's like a desert. And your cells begin to release toxins, and the weak, dead or dying cells are replaced in the urine. They get washed out. And then you get new water that you yourself make internally, which I think is amazing. And I had all this piss the third day. So for me, that's irrefutable evidence that that does take place. Because I'm not really, when I saw these videos about holistic videos, holistic healing, and naturopathic healing. I resonated well with them, but I wanted my own proof as well, so that's why I'm doing this. And I've heard that after 3 days it's 3 to 4 days, I've heard that your body knows it's not getting fluids, it's not getting solids, and what it does is it begins to take in more prana. And your crown chakra actually expands, it opens up. And I've even heard that all the chakras open up to receive more prana. And that leads into Breatharianism, which is not to say that you're just sustaining your energy off of prana, which is the chi, the life force, the solar energies which energize everything on this planet. It's not to say that, but you begin to exchange prana, food with prana. Less food, more prana. And there are people that only get 500 calories per day, for example, and all they do is they drink juices. And there's people that apparently can go on dry fast for 7 days, 8 days, 10 days. One guy went 12 days, another went 13. The Guinness Book of World Records is 18 days, no water, no food. And then if you check the links below, which I will provide in this video, you'll see that there are people from India that apparently have not eaten or drank anything in years, even decades. That's a very long time. And if your crown chakra is opening up, if your chakras are opening up by doing all this breath work, which you're supposed to do when you're dry fasting, in addition to having bigger chakras, as portals to this cosmic energy, people claim to have lots of energy. They're only sleeping 3 hours per day. They're hiking and they're swimming and they're not really tired. They're not fatigued. And they can go many, many days without eating or drinking. And that's what I would like to do. I'd like to connect with the higher powers in the universe. I would like to be able to connect with my higher self at least. And I think it's well worth the risk. I don't really think there is a risk if you're only doing it for 3 days. I decided to stop at 3 days because in the valley where I'm living, I'm all alone. There's no cell phone reception. So I thought maybe if something goes wrong, better to play it safe. I'm going a little too fast. My second dry fast, I had problems. But the third one, I wasn't thirsty after 3 days. I wasn't hungry, but I was weak. I wasn't tired though. You don't seem to get very tired on dry fasting. Water fasting, I sleep like a rock. I sleep a lot, but dry fasting, I was sleeping less and less and less. Maybe that's because I was doing so much breath work, taking in that prana. But I don't think this expansion of my crown chakra actually happened because I didn't wait long enough. You're supposed to be pissing clear, and you're supposed to go at least 3.5 days, and I didn't. So that was the struggle. I was weak. I felt very weak, and on my next dry fast, I hope to go 4 or 5 days. I'm told to take baby steps, so I am rushing into this for sure. Gosh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. The Breatharians, I find their videos to be interesting, and I'm not trying to be a holistic healer. I'm not trying to necessarily become a naturopath, but I'd like to. I was inspired by the videos, and I would like to exchange that. I'd like to pass that forward and do something for somebody who might be interested in the results. One testimonial of one person going through this. This whole notion that has been a standard in the scientific community and in general, that you die after 3 days of no water, is, in my opinion, not true. Unless you are in the desert, for 15 hours and it's super hot and you have no shade and no water, you're going to be dead in probably a day and a half. If you're lucky, you might make it to 2 days. But under no stress, if you're not sweating a lot, if you're not exerting yourself, and if you're doing that breath work to exchange the energy, 3 days did not seem like a big deal at all. And I kind of wanted to keep going, but I wanted to play it safe as well. So I don't think people are dying. If you go on YouTube, again, check the links below. You'll see that dehydrated people that are in the emergency room, they're discombobulated, they're throwing up, they're having all kinds of major problems. There's no moisture in their mouth or their eyes. I was not having any problems like this at all. I did not feel like I was dying at all. So looking into that, there's one other thing I want to tell you. What takes place is you release the toxins, and the best analogy I could come up with is that you're creating this water when the hydrogen molecules and the the hydrogen molecules and another kind of molecules, when they combine in the blood, it creates liquid. And the toxins, the inflammation, the parasites, they like a nice, moist, wet atmosphere to thrive in. That's where they breed. And the best analogy is, from what I heard, it's like a swamp that's dried up. All the insects are going to go away once that swamp is gone, because there's no more breeding ground. And that's what happens in your system. You're creating a dry swamp where parasites used to thrive, and now they're just not able to. They're dead. They're dying. So that's pretty cool. I wish I could remember what it was. It was hydrogen molecules and some other kind of molecules that mix together in the blood and creates this process, which I believe is called ketosis, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this benefits somebody out there. I would love, again, to inspire people the way I've been inspired. And my next video will probably be on sun gazing and or saltwater therapy or cold water therapy in the Pacific Ocean. Thank you. Bye.